This conference will now be recorded.
Do I have approval of the agenda?
This is Commissioner E. And I move to approve the agenda as printed.
I'll second that. Commissioner Warren.
Okay, Dwayne moved and Jay seconded. All those in favor will have the roll call agenda vote. Leslie?
Commissioner Eastman,
Yes.
Commissioner Ganger,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Welsh.
Yes. We have no old business. We have new business. Leslie?
You want to do the consent
Hey.
agenda here?
Hey, approximation for Earth Day.
Oh, thank you. I can hardly see the screen. I have a proclamation for the Earth Day. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day should be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, Arbor Day, first was observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and it now is observed throughout the nation and the world on the final day in April. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, beautify our community, and are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas Arkansas City has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation for the 26th year in a row, and so desires to continue its tree planting ways. And whereas the first celebrated 50 years ago in 1970, Earth Day is an annual event celebrated around the world on April 22nd to demonstrate support for environment protection, and now includes events coordinated globally by the Earth Day Network in more than 193 countries. And whereas Cali College faculty and staff, in recognition of Earth Day, have requested the following. Now therefore I, Karen Welch, Mayor of the City of Arkansas City, Kansas, do hereby proclaim that Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020 is Earth Day in the city of Arkansas City, Kansas, and that the official name of this city for those 24 hours commencing of midnight Wednesday shall be Earth Day. And I furthermore do also hereby proclaim that Friday, April 24th, 2020 is Arbor Day in the city of Arkansas City, Kansas, and urge all citizens to observe both days with appropriate ceremonies and observances during Earth Week, which this year is observed on April 19th through the 25th, 2020. Is Meg Smith here?
Yes, I'm here.
Did you want to say a few words, Meg?
Sure. We had set up at the college to do a number of events. Of course, current circumstances have kind of cut into some of those events. But we did organize a cleanup. We went out and we did a cleanup out at the waterfall. We've done a number of cleanups around the campus and surrounding area. And just in recognition of the 50th anniversary, ask students to go the extra mile to use the 5 R's, reduce, recycle, repurpose, reuse. Not a lot of our students use rot. And to try to aim for a zero waste campus.
Well, thank you, Meg. That was informative. We'll be mailing out the proclamation to you. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Uh-huh. No old business?
Consent agenda.
I have an approval of the consent agenda.
This is Commissioner Rogers. I approve the consent agenda for the April 7th, 2020 regular meeting and the April 10th, 2020 special meeting.
Is there a
Commissioner
sec-
Eastman,
Did you second, Dwayne?
yes, ma'am, I did.
Roll call.
Commissioner Eastman,
Yes,
Commissioner Ginger,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Welsh.
Yes. Have we made it to new business now?
Yes, we have, Mayor. New business item 1, consider a resolution authorizing an agreement with Environmental Systems Research Institute to provide cloud-based hosted geographic information system services for 3 years for an amount not to exceed $45,000.
Josh or Matt, do you want to talk on this item?
Sure, this is Josh. I can briefly go over this again. Of course, we've been with S3 for a number of years, at least since I've been here. Lately, we've noticed that some of the advancing technology and security protocols have caused our current solution, where we have an in-house server, to just not work as well as we'd like it to. What this would do would be to move our GIS system into the cloud, and so it'd be hosted off-site. It could be more secure that way and could be managed a little bit better that way. The data itself would still, of course, be managed by staff. Important thing to note about this is the server was supposed to be replaced next year anyways, according to the information technology manager, next year. And this agreement would actually make that unnecessary. We wouldn't need to purchase that server. We have been on an annual maintenance program with them for many years for the software, and this would replace that program. In the past, we've spent roughly $10,000 a year or so, so this is a little bit of an increase over that, but it does offer, of course, the cloud solution and also and a couple extra things that we've never had before, some extensions and stuff. I believe somebody in the chat last Friday asked about how we work with the county. The county does have their own system. They have not moved yet to the solution, but it's something they're looking into. In fact, they were asking me questions when I talked to them about that. They manage some of our data, like the parcels, the address points, and street center lines. But as far as the rest of the information, our cemetery, our water, sewer, stormwater, that is all totally managed by the city. Beyond that, I guess I'd be open to any questions.
Commissioner Rogers here. This is something that you guys have been looking into for a while now. You guys have been limping along for quite some time on this system, and honestly, going cloud backup and having servers offsite, or at least having the cloud system offsite, is a more secure option, in my opinion. I don't see a lot of concerns with that. It's a little more increased cost, but overall, I think we're getting a little bit more with it, and we're getting a little bit maybe more secure and a little bit more up to date or more modern with our securities and how we do things. I mean, cloud backup is kind of, or at least cloud is becoming the way to do things. So I don't have a lot of concerns with it, but I mean, I'm open to discussion.
I'll
Is there
agree
any-
with Commissioner. This is Commissioner Eastman. I'll agree with Commissioner Rogers. set back our time that we have to get a new server if we have to get one with this. So
Does Commissioner Rogers want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we enter an agreement with Environmental Systems Research Institute to provide cloud-based hosted GIS services for 3 years for an amount not to exceed $45,000.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second by Commissioner Rogers and Commissioner Warren. All those in favor, we'll take a roll. Unless we have,
I'm sorry. Are we ready?
for the roll call vote,
Commissioner
there-
Eastman,
yes,
Commissioner Ganger,
no.
Commissioner Rogers,
Sorry, I was muted. Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Welsh.
Yes. Motion carried 4-1. Number 2,
Okay, let me just get down there. Okay, item number 2, consider a resolution authorizing the city to file for an Historic Preservation Fund grant for an updated downtown historic district walking tour brochure, pledging matching funds and/or in-kind services for said grant, and authorizing Mayor Karen Welsh and/or city staff to execute any and all documents necessary to apply for and accept such grant.
Foss, I believe you wanted to speak at this time.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I'm president of the, and I'm getting feedback here. Hang on a minute. I'm president of the Historic Preservation Board. And we had a meeting a few days back and all agreed that this would be a good grant to apply for. The brochure that now we have was done several years ago. We say that was in the, around the early 2000s. And it does need to be updated as far as the building, the outside of the building looks, and also the companies that are there. And for example, the one building that I'm thinking of that now is has Dan Jerkovich's business there, has metal over the windows that has been changed to windows. It has been Brenda Spencer, who did the survey of the city in 2018 to resurvey the historic district, has declared that a participating or a contributing building to the district. Long story short, we all think that the brochure would make a good way for people to learn about their heritage and the history of this town and the people that built the town over the years. And I think we're also talking about some kind of an app that would be used to take the tour using the app. So I think now is a good time to update it. The other reason I would say this, and the other members of the board were unanimously agreed to back this, would be because I think when I did a presentation in early April at the Burford about the historic buildings, I got positive feedback from everybody that was there. I didn't hear anything negative. I think it's a good way to help the citizens learn about their history. Thirdly, the Park City Middle School students in 2015 and 2016, the summer school students, the whole project of that summer school was focused on measuring the buildings, learning about the history, and doing online presentations about them, which were very well done and very well received by a lot of the citizens that were invited to watch those. So those are my reasons. Also, this is pretty cost effective. I think Josh White can talk about that angle.
Sure, I'll just add that the total project cost is slated about $18,000. But it would be paid through a 60-40 split grant. The 40% match that we're required to do can be made up with salary of my time and any other staff involved, as well as volunteer time from the board or any other citizens that might want to be part of this project. So that's all covered there. I wanted to point out too that brochure, for my records, was done in 2005, so it's about 15 years out of date.
Okay, anything further, Foss or Josh?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, any other discussion, commissioners?
This is Commissioner Rogers. I did speak to Pam Crane with Visit Our City, and I said, is this something you guys, these brochures, do you guys use these a lot? And she said, when people come to town and we do put a little care package together, we do usually put these brochures in there. And she had also said that Sandy Randall does do some walking tours and gives these brochures out then too. So it sounds like they're used anyways quite a bit. So I just adding that in there.
Okay,
Oh, just Cannon, I was on the wrong thing last time. I voted no, but I needed to vote yes on the GPS.
okay, Leslie, did you get that?
I did, Mayor.
Okay,
The tour, some of the businesses are concerned that this is going to further advance the historical preservation on their buildings. Can we be assured that it is not?
This project would not change any current guidelines in place. This is pegged to be more of an educational type project.
Right, but what I'm saying is they're concerned that yet again, we would advance to more things and more buildings would want to be included in the historical district. That's what I meant to say, the historical district.
No. You see that as a negative, Canyon?
Some of the business owners do, Foss. I mean, it's difficult now for them to maintain their buildings, and if they're required to do or upgrade to different levels or not be allowed to upgrade at what they can afford to. So I just want to be sure that this is simply a tour, virtual or on paper. When I spoke to people, they said we just don't want to get any deeper into this historical district.
Well, it would be just for a tour.
it's just
But
brochure.
the part about educating people is, you know, each of those buildings has a story to tell. And I think people might benefit by knowing those things.
I was asked to pass that along and get assurances, and so that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Commissioner Rogers, I did call and talk to Josh also, and I said, Josh, this doesn't add any teeth to any regulations, so to speak, or anything like that. And he said, no, it's just a walking tour. So, Josh, I mean, that's what I had asked that earlier, Commissioner Ginger as well. So, I mean, yeah.
This is Commissioner Jay Warren. I'm going to make a motion, a walking tour type thing. I'm going to make a motion. We consider a resolution authorizing the city of Arkansas City to file application for the Historical Preservation Fund grant administered by the National Park Service for the Update Downtown Historical District Walking Tour brochure, pledging matching funds and or in-kind service for said grant, and authorizing Mayor Karen Welch and or the city's execute any and all documents necessary to apply for the accepted such grant.
Commissioner Eastman seconds that.
Okay, Commissioner Jay Warren motion, Commissioner Dwayne Eastman seconded. Leslie, can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Eastman,
Yes.
Commissioner Ginger,
Yes, as long as it is just the brochure.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Welsh.
Yes. Motion carried.
Ready to move on, Mayor?
Yes, number 3, Leslie.
Consider a resolution authorizing the city to purchase two 2020 Peterbilts with 20-yard hail packer from Armor Equipment of Arnold, Missouri for an amount not to exceed $215,284.
Are there any questions regarding this resolution?
These are part of the budgeted items, right?
That's correct.
That is correct,
They
yeah.
did it. They got a very good price getting the two at once, right?
That's correct.
I would make a motion authorizing the city of Arkansas City to purchase two 2020 Peterbilts with a 20-yard heel packer from Armor Equipment of Arnold, Missouri for an amount not to exceed $215,284.
I second it. Kenyon Geiger made the motion. I second it. Let's have roll call, please.
Commissioner Eastman,
Yes.
Commissioner Ginger,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Welsh.
Yes. Number 4.
Consider approving a requested amount of $3,000 from Osenbach Consulting for additional charges relating to the city manager search and contract negotiation of the new city manager.
Good evening.
This is Nicodemus. We had two invoices that we received from Ozenbach Consulting, one in the amount of $2,000 and the other in the amount of $1,000. We just want to get on there for commission approval, as this does amend his previous agreement of $10,000.
Okay, any other discussion? I move that we approve the requested amount of $3,000 from Osenbach Consulting for the additional charges relating to the city manager search and contract negotiation of the new city manager. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eastman will second it.
Okay, thank you. I thought I heard Kenyon Geiger first.
Ginger. Yes, I did.
Okay. Leslie, roll call, please.
Commissioner Eastman,
Yes.
Commissioner Ginger,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Welsh.
Yes. Commissioner Geiger, did you wish to make a statement now or wait for the city manager updates?
I'll do it now. So several times and several times Ken Heriter has come to the city regarding the Family Dollar issue of the fencing that was supposed to be put on the property. It did not happen correctly, and because of that, they are experiencing a situation with people using the restroom in the kind of alcove that it's created. There is a rock wall and there is a wood enclosure around the trash area, which has created a pathway. And for the last, he said that he has met with many staff several times and requested help. And for the last, 3 times out of this last week, he has basically sent pictures of people who have voided on the fence and in the public area. And so I requested some city personnel, Mike Bellis, come out, and he did, looked at the situation, and for about $350 worth of materials, we can get that situation taken care of if we use city labor. Commissioner Rogers also was contacted, and he went out there to see Mr. Herder as well. So he's been asking for help, and it's something that we can do.
Scott, what's your input on that? You were there.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, this is an issue that could be solved pretty easily. I know it doesn't solve the truck traffic, and that's another concern and a whole other issue when it's in and of itself that slowly, hopefully, as things develop, can get adjusted or changed. But this is something that I know the neighbor to the south, looking out the bedroom window, they can see someone using the restroom right there. And the way that fence was approved or signed off on, it was kind of, it was slanted. If it would have gone straight to the end of that corner there, it would eliminate a lot of those issues. I know on the front side, there's a little 5-foot section. This shouldn't take more than just like Canyon or Commissioner Ginger said, it shouldn't take a whole lot of time and effort and a cost just to, keep the neighbors from having to see people use the restroom. I think there's even been truckers sneak back in there and try to use the restroom when they pull up in the morning. It's just, it seems like we've tried to work with the developers and the owners, and it's becoming not a lot of work there, and so, or not a lot of progress being made on that front. So for $400, or whatever, $350 and some labor, it would go a long way, I think, to show goodwill and let the neighbors know we do care. We are trying to resolve some of these issues that need taken care of, in my opinion. So I think it's a great idea. It's a simple fix. It's not a lot of labor. I mean, it's walking out there. I mean, I think anyone could probably do it themselves. We're just trying to get it done the right way and get it done so it's not an issue anymore.
You gonna make that motion?
I have a question. This Commissioner Eastman, I have a question.
Yeah.
Who has looked at it? Has it just been Mike Bellis, or has it been a contractor, or has anybody else looked at it?
Well, I've looked at it.
I mean,
I don't know about the last few years, this is Commissioner Rogers. I know Mr. Herder has brought it up, and I believe he's talked to some previous city staff members who don't work there, who don't work for the city anymore, who got on other jobs. And I don't think he may be on the phone to answer those, but I know recently Mike Bellis has looked at it, and I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any means. I've looked at it, so, and I know Commissioner Ginger has, but I mean, it doesn't seem too much of an issue, but if Mr. Herder's on the phone, he may be able to tell you who they've talked to more than I can.
Well, I just know that Mr. Herder has contacted the police when he has actually witnessed these events occurring, and they have come and assisted, but the police can't be there every minute. And if $350 will fix the problem for Mr. Herder, I just don't see a problem with it. I believe he's cooperated as long as he can. And I think we should do what we can for him.
well, this Commissioner, I agree, but I want to make sure that we do $350, and then down the road, $350 is not enough. Let's make sure it gets done right, and authorize enough money to do it. And we ought to have a contractor, or if city staff can do it, have them make a actual bid or estimate.
Right. This Canyon, Mike Bellis called me. He had been out there and looked at it and taken measurements and went to Woods Lumber to get pricing on everything. He said $350 would be, he thought $350 would be the materials, and staff could put up the fence themselves and the gate area that they would need to get in there to weed eat.
Well,
Okay. Well, since it's $350, I don't think the commission needs to make any movement on it other than just tell them to go ahead and fix it.
It's just consensus. Does anyone object?
No.
I have no problem with it.
I have no issues with it either.
Okay. Well, we'll
Next-
let them know that they can move forward with it.
Yeah, I'll get with Tony Tapia and Mike Bellis and we'll take a look at it tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have city manager updates?
I did meet with the new city manager this morning, drove him around, introduced him to a couple folks earlier today. He plans on coming back a few more times, but trying to find a house right now. I think he's on the conference as well. But it's kind of a unique situation that he's coming into with the whole COVID-19 issue and all the different issues locally that we have going on. But I think he's very excited to be here, and I do wish him well. I think his first day is going to be, I believe, May 26th, which is the Tuesday after Memorial Day. And my last day will actually be May 22nd. So there'll be no carryover. So Friday will be my last day, and he'll be here on Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. So I think the employees will be happy with that, not having that gap for sure.
Thank you.
I don't have anything else really.
When's their next work session? Or are we going to have one before our next meeting?
The next work session should be May 1st. Should be our next work session, I believe.
Okay.
And then we have our budget meeting on the 9th.
Okay. Do you think we'll have something from the governor by then about being able to socialize?
Well, I think it's going to be a process. Honestly, what I think is going to end up happening with that, with as far as reopening, I think it's going to, the direction is going to be given to the county health department. And I think that local governments and businesses are going to have a plan of how they're going to keep social distancing and how they're going to respond and react if they do have employees that are positive to COVID-19. But I think that there will definitely be a loosening up come the first part of May after the governor's orders has expired. The other thing is that when the order is lifted, you can expect that there are going to be greater numbers of occurrences. One of the things that we are need to be very mindful of is when the Spanish flu originally hit back in the 1918 or 1920, whenever it was, the first time it hit, it killed about 20-30 million people, but that second wave killed about 100 million people. So it's something we just have to make sure that we're very cognizant of. The testing's getting better. I think that the county's going to see the availability of more testing equipment and testing supplies here in the near future. Not to say that we have it yet, but I think we will see it here before too long. Other than that, I think it's just going to be kind of a slow process, and I don't think it's going to look exactly like it did right before everything shut down in early March.
Okay.
Nick, I have a question. Since, we were talking about having out the cabin, but since it's kind of a, narrow, dense type thing, either this meeting room or what about having it maybe at the Brown Center and in one of the right rooms, where we can spread out, in that thing. Would that be a suggestion or not?
Well, we'll have to look. I think it depends on if the buildings are open to the public yet.
Okay.
And it depends upon Cali College and their policies and procedures.
Okay.
I think if there's just 10 or so of us, if we don't want to go necessarily out to the cabin, we can meet at the water treatment facility. That room's
Okay.
big enough that we could spread out 6 feet apart. But that's if the governor's order allows us, it has been lifted where you can have more than 10 people in the room. So that's something we have to keep in mind.
Okay. It's just food for thought I was bringing up.
It's good. Anything else, sir?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Commissioner East, seconds. Oh, go ahead, Kenyon.
Thank you. Second.
I don't think we need a roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.